Well, welcome to Cord Art. I call this a doodle dog. A doodle because I like to doodle with cord now and again. Somebody asked me to make this. Someone on Facebook had come across a picture of one of these, but they didn't have the tutorial. So I said I'd have a go at making one. Well, I've made one. Now I've got to make another one on tutorial. Well, how do we go about that? As I say, I've made it up as I've gone along, but I'll show you what I've done. I mean, we start off with the body, which is one of these. Decided to do it in a darker colour this time. The original I saw was in black. It still showed all the cuts and everything, but if I was to take my time, I'd just colour that in with a bit of paint here and there, because there's quite a few cut-offs at the end of the day. So we'll make the body first, and what we're going to need, well, it's basically a double corded crown knot for about 3 or 4 inches, but I've just cut these for 4 pieces of cord at a size of 28 inches. I wish I'd done 30 inches now, but I'm going to take this to bits. 28 inches. You can see that I've got 2 longer ends and 2 shorter ends, so obviously I didn't get the centers right, so I think one more knot and it would have been enough, I believe. So I'm going to take this to bits and we'll go through how to make the body. Well, there we go. We have 4 pieces of cord, 550, whatever colour you want. And these are only 27 inches. I've just remeasured. They're 27 inches long. I've measured to the centres so that we get the centres together. Just tied them with a little bit of white inner, and we place them together like so. Yeah. Then we know that we have the centres. As I say, I would advise 30 inches in length of each 4. So what we're going to do here, we've got one on top of the other. So the bottom one, we're just going to bring the 2 cords over like so. Yeah. The top one then is going to come over the top of that one, like so. Try and keep them neat. These 2 are now going to come over the top of the top one, like so. And then what do we want to do? We want to actually bring that last set of 2 over and down through. I hope that's clear. It's a basic square knot, but with double cords. So what we're going to now do is try and keep our centers going and tie that first knot. You'll find that the cords want to jump over. I'm trying to keep them in position. My centres have fallen away now because they weren't very tight. Now we're just pulling those together like so to get our knot started. Just get rid of that centre again. So hopefully we've got the centre all pulling nice and tight. What I do like to do is actually, once I've pulled those doubles tight like so, yeah, so we've got that sort of thing like that. I then like to pull each individual, inner, outer, inner, outer, inner, outer, and then inner, and outer. It just squares it up nicely. Yeah. Now we've got a nice little pattern on that side. We want to keep that pattern on that side, so we don't want to do the knot up this way. We want to do the knot this way, where you can see it has those two cords going across there. So there we have it. We're just going to do a square knot with this now. Yeah. So I'm getting hold of two cords, bringing them over. Can you see they're bending? I'm not pulling them like that, I'm bending them over so they're in an arch over the top of the knot. These two are the same, those two are the same, and then the last two will come through the loop. Bit awkward trying to do it on screen because I'm doing everything sort of extended, but I'm making sure that those cords all remain more or less in line. If you do that, it looks quite neat outside when we actually get going. If you've got them crossing, it's not so much. It looks a bit rough. So all I'm doing is pulling those knots, that last knot, nice and tight with doubles each way, and then just finishing off with, as I say, inner. You can feel it go a little bit more. Outer, inner one, outer, inner, outer, inner, outer. Now we've got the nice pattern both sides. Yeah, but we'll carry on with that. I'll do a few more, or I'll do one more, and then I'll carry on and towards the end, and then I'll show you. So we're getting hold of two cords, bending them over the next one over, bending these two over the next one to the, yeah, bending those two over, and then these last two will go down through the first loop that we made, keeping them neat. Nothing much to this bit really. I saw the photograph and I thought, well, it's definitely a crown knot, but with a difference. I ended up, well, I started off making this with 8 cords, but soon become aware that it was far too big. So inner, outer, inner, outer, inner, outer, and inner and outer. Just carry on making the knot like that, going, hopefully I'm online and everything, so you can see the square there. This one's going to go over that one, that one's going to go over the top of those two, these two are going to go over the top of those two, then these last two are going to come down through this loop here, through that loop there, keeping it all nice and neat. I'll carry on for a while and I'll come back to you towards the end. Welcome back. Now I was going to show you the last tie on that knot, but because my cord is so short, it was a bit awkward to actually show, but I've managed to achieve what I wanted. I wanted a knot 2.5 inches long, the same size as what I've done before. I'll do a bit of a close-up on that one. Can you see, by keeping it neat and tight, you can keep the pairs together. Now that's going to be the chest, and this is going to be the tail end. If I'd had more cord, I could have actually done a wool knot on the end of this, so you wouldn't have seen these cut marks. But yeah, I'm a bit short as I say, make the 4 cords 30 inches, but in this case it's not for me, so I'm just going to snip them off. And heat them up. I can put a bit of paint on those if I want to. Start to shake now. Got that one a little bit hot. So there we are. There's his body. Yeah. Now what we're going to do now is do some more square knots coming down for the legs. Yeah. But these are going to be single cord, and they're going to go down. I'll give you a length of cord, but we're going to need 4 of them for each leg. They come down 1.5 inches, just to keep the perspective. They're going to come down 1.5 inches. So I'm going to cut now 2 pieces of cord for each leg, 8 pieces of cord, and I believe, no, I've lost the piece of cord. Oh, here we go. I think this is the length that we actually used for the legs before. So if I do, that comes out at 18. If I do 2, 4, 6, 8 lengths of 18, and I'll come back to you. But you do need to actually make the ends so that they can take a fid, or at least one end on each cord. Okay, I'll come back to you on that. Well, welcome back. Just making sure I've got my mic on, which I have. I've cut those 8 pieces of 18-inch pieces of cord and prepared their ends so that I can actually use a fid on the end of them. So they're 18 inches and I cut 8 of them. I've used 2 of them already to make the first leg. Now it's quite essential that you start off your crown knot in the right place. Now if we turn it over slowly, if I can keep this nice and close, I'll point out to you what I'm trying to do. There's 2 there. We're going to grab the outer one and put one of these lines underneath it, and then the second one back. We're not counting that front bit. So first one outer, we're going to go underneath, and second one outer. It does look a bit far back, but it pulls up to this join part here. So I'll just put those in. We're just going to go underneath that first outer, bring our 18-inch piece of cord up so that it's even on, or just about even, touch more. So that's that one through there, here, through there. So we're going to leave that one alone now. Thread another. And we do the same for all 4 legs. We'll do the same at the back here eventually. We'll come in just to about here, do an outer and an inner, or an outer and outer. It's just a matter of finding the right place, keeping the legs obviously all in line. So that was the first one on the outer of those 2. So now we'll go underneath this one, next one back, pull that through so it comes to even amounts of cord through that stitch. Take our fid off. We'll move the rest out of the way because I'm going to do those on my own after I've shown you how I do this one. So we've got all 4. I give them a good old tug so that they find their position. So now we've got 4 chords coming from those 2 positions, and then it's quite straightforward. We're going to do a crown knot from there, and we're going to come up, just grab my tape measure if I can find it. It's gone for a walkabout. We're going to come out from the body about 1.5 inches. It just gives it to about the right perspective. So we'll start this one off together. Hopefully you can see there we've got 4 chords. I like to call them cables. I've not been in any electrical industry in the past, but still call them cables. So we're going to have number 1 over number 2, number 2 over number 3, and number 3 over number 4. Now this is the, see, that was a number 1. We don't want to go down through there, we want to go through that loop there. See if I can keep it in position. So number 4 is going to go through there, like so. Yeah, and we just pull those together, bit at a time, until they're nice and tight. And we've got the start of a second leg. I think I'll just keep dipping in and out of this tutorial showing you. I'll show you one more knot on this, then I'll finish this and we'll start one of the back legs. So number 1 over number 2, number 2 over number 3, over number 4, and number 4 goes down through number 1. Yeah, just pull those into position. They do need to be quite tight, the legs, because then that allows you to bend them around a little bit, make them look a bit more leggy shape. I'll just show you on this one we've just done, so we can actually bend it so it looks as though it's got a bit of, there's, that's better, we can bend it so it's got a bit of shape to it. Yeah, right, now I'll carry on going down here. I think it's about 6 knots, but I like to measure and then we know that it's going to stand straight. So just that measurement again, I think it was 1.5 inches. Yeah, 1.5 inches, maybe a tad over 1.5 inches, no, 1.5 inches. But I'll come back to you when I've done this leg and we'll start one of the back legs. Yeah, well, there's the second leg. It's come out just as I wanted it. There's a bit of a bulge there, but we'll be filling in along there with a couple of cords just to make his chest look more rounded rather than square. It's just a bit of a mucking around a bit later on, just putting a couple of threads through so that you got more bulk. Right, so this back leg, you've got to choose a position where you think it might look right. Now, have it in mind, I want to make sure that you were right on line. We've got this shiny bit here, one there, one there, one there. I'm going to use, even though that's in my way, I'm going to cut, and I've been up through here already, so I know that it's the right place, but it's right on the bottom part of the arch, and I want the back leg more or less to the back side, if you like. So we're going to come up through there for our first chord, even them out slightly, It's about right. Grab hold of another cord, stick that on the fid. Now that one was right to the back. We want probably the next one to be, well, you can choose. I mean, I could go, I think I'm going to go past that first one maybe. Let me think. Yeah, I'm going to try that one. Yeah, I'm going to try that one. Like so. Obviously you've got to pick out the same chords on the other side when we do the other leg. So we'll even those out. Off with the fid. And give it a bit of a manipulation so that it comes down like so, yeah? I like to put it upside down, space my chords out, and hopefully if I come close enough you can get an idea of which two I've actually decided to go from. Yeah? Right, saying that, number 1 over 2, 2 over 3, 3 over 4, and then don't forget that this one's got to go through number 1, like so. And we're just going to neaten that knot up. And we've got the beginning of our third leg. Yeah. Am I happy with that? Looking at the other one. Yeah, reasonably happy. As I say, a lot of this, it was a doodle, and it's a matter of trying to do the same thing again. So that's the beginning. 1 over 2, 2 over 3, 3 over 4, and then number 4 down through there. Tight knots. Need tight knots so it doesn't look all that good. Right, I'm going to finish that leg and then we'll find the spacing for the fourth leg. Yeah, I'll come back to you. Welcome back. So there's the third leg. I've done one extra stitch on the back legs, so I haven't on the original, they're exactly the same, but I thought we could have him looking a bit more menacing. So where we're going to have this last leg going through, again there's the cut-off point from when we was making the body. I'm going to come up through the bottom one of these two here, up through there, and hope that nothing gives. So yeah, we're like so, up there, double it over, a bit more, that's okay. Last of our 8. I should really measure the length of the legs in centimetres because not everybody uses inches. So centimetres, the legs, front legs are coming out at 3.5 centimetres, and the back legs are coming out at 4 centimetres. Yeah, whole body is 7 centimetres. That's for the people who like using metric. Right, where's that last one going to go? Right, we had it up through that one, that first one, so I think yeah, matter of choice, but I think I'm going to come up through there, up through that one. he says. Up through there, double over, and just manoeuvre that to more or less where you want it. All the legs are bendable, so we can move that one out the way a bit. Then we're going to do our crown knot again. 1 over 2, 2 over 3, 3 over 4. Lost my numbers now, but that's a crown knot. When you pull the first crown knot down, it really determines, you can see if you got the leg in the right place or not. And I think even though it looks a little bit outward bound to the side, once we get going we'll be okay. Over, over, fingers and thumbs, over, and then through the loop of the first one, nice and tight. Doesn't matter where you start on the crown knot, any of the 4, once you get going. Down through that loop. Right, I'll finish that leg off and I'll come back to you and we'll talk about I think the tail. Not happy with the tail on the one I've done. I wish I'd actually used some 2mm cord, but I don't think I've got the right colour 2mm to go with this brown, but we'll see. But I'll come back to you when I've done that leg. Okay, be exactly the same length as this one. Well, hi there, let's talk about the tail. I'm never quite happy with this one. All I did was actually put up a piece of cord from underneath the legs and out through the rear end, and then did a snake knot up it in gutted cord. It doesn't look too bad, but it could be improved. I haven't got the right colour to make it in 2mm. So what I've actually done is, have you ever heard of that saying less is more? Well, I've come up with this, and all it is a cord passed through between the legs out the back end, and you can see it's quite stiff because I've just got it to the right length that I wanted it, bent it and just give it a little bit of super glue underneath just to hold its position, like so. I'm hoping that that's gonna be par for the course. Right, the next section that we've got to do is the neck. Now if you look at the neck, it's quite wide compared with the leg. Sorry, I'm right off screen there. Come back on screen. The neck is quite wide. It's narrow that way, but it's wide that way. There's not a lot of knots in the actual neck. This big head, or the head, is a double stop knot. So what we're going to do now is cut some more cords. How many we're going to have? We're going to cut 3 cords of 18 inches. Prepare them for a fid, and then the neck is going to be a crown knot. from about that distance upwards of 6 cords, but I think it's only about 2 or 3 ties before we develop it into a stop knot. So bear with me while I cut those cords and find the positions where I want to actually put them in. A bit similar to the leg, you need to actually find the right positions on the dog to be able to, as I say, get the proportion right, and then we'll see where we go from there. See you shortly. Right, so let's come back to this neck. Now I've cut 3 pieces of 24-inch pieces of cord. Now where we're going to actually put these is really down to where you think is best. I'll get my fid and I'll show you where I've actually put them. Now I've not gone through any of the front knot. I've gone through a loop just behind the first one, a loop just behind the first one. I've gone to the second loop just there underneath that one, then underneath the second loop on that one, and I'm just going to follow on now with going to the third loop. So if I go in like so, I don't want to go through a double loop, I only want to take the single one with me. If yeah, because those body ones are double loops, I just want the outer one. But my thinking is that if I go down too deep or too wide, things aren't going to work out as I want them, and I'm going to come down. Should I come down that far? No, I don't think so. I think I'll come to that one. This is a bit of a play and see. There we go. So if we can get the, I think I'm in the just about in the right ballpark with these. Is that going to look okay? As I say, it's a matter of playing around with it to find out if you've got the right position. I think I'm pretty close there. As you can see, I've got 6 cables. Let's get rid of the fid. 6 there now, yeah, all coming under an outer one and under another outer one, more or less, but it's all just behind the front knot. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to tie another crown knot, but we're 6, so we'll start at the front. We'll go, make sure I'm online, yeah, over number 1, 1 over 2, 2 over 3, over 4, 5, and then down through the first one. Now let's see what we come up with. Don't want it looking as though it's an ostrich, so that's why I've increased the amount of cords so that we get a thicker neck. Just work at it slowly, it'll come into shape. And what we're looking for is that nice flower sort of pattern in the middle. So we've got 6. They're not tight enough yet. I mean, that's got to come quite a bit tighter. Right, I'm just about happy with how that one is. So we'll do another one. We're only going to do about 3. I'm hoping I've made these 2 foot cords long enough, because as I say, we got to tie a stop knot in a minute. See if we can keep that going, that knot. One there, one there. Yeah, that's coming good. You can see that it's actually coming up right. I'm not happy with this stitch here. I might have to take, I mean, but you can see the idea. You get 3 cords through and then start doing a crown knot. Now we're only going to go up to about 2, maybe 1 or 2 more than what we've got here, but I'm just going to adjust this slightly. I'm going to take that last row undone and see if I can get the knots underneath a bit tighter. Be back to you. I never said it would be easy. I said let's make one. Now you can see that that's quite a nice knot on the top there. To keep it in position, I've just touched a little bit of super glue on each bit, because what we're going to do next, or what I'm going to do next, is tie a stop knot with 4. It's going to be a double stop knot with the 4 side cords. We're going to leave the front cord out of this and the back cord out of it, but I'm going to place my finger over the top of the knot that we just tied, center finger, and then we've got our cords like so. Yeah, now can we see that? Yeah, I think so. I'm going to do a double stop knot. Hopefully I've got enough cord. Might be a little bit short, so it might be a bit of hassle. Going to go around the thumb, over, twist there, over the other 2. Now this is the point where we can actually make sure that all the cords are true. I can see that they're crossing over here, so this one's got to come above that one without losing the whole thing. So it comes, twist that over there, right, so that looks a hell of a lot better. All a bit small, but better. We're going to grab those 2 in the middle, bring them up so there's that loop like so. These 2 hanging down, the vertical ones, the right hand side one's going to come around first under these 2 and just slot through that loop like so. The next vertical at the bottom, around the back of those 2 and through the loop. Now this bit is worth taking a bit of time at, because it's going to make or break the project. Now you can see that we've got a fair bit of slack underneath the knot going to the body. We can work with that to our advantage and bring some of that up through, taking it around and out the knot. Yeah, because we've got to get these 4 in the right place now. Yeah, right, so let's go for this. Make sure I'm online. We got these 2 here. They've got to go right the way around the back, around these 2 at the bottom, and up through the stop knot. So we're going to take that first one round, the right hand side one, round that base double, and bring it up through the center of the stop knot, like so. Its partner's going to come round around those anchor points at the bottom there. Up through the stop knot. I'm pleased that we got that far anyway. Right, turn to the other 2. Going to take the right hand one, take it around this base, then hopefully we can feel it through the center of the stop knot. There we go. That's the 3rd one through. Here, one more to go. So this one again follows its partner around the base, bit fiddly, all doable because you've just seen it done. There we go. Right, so he's starting to get a bit of a head, yeah, with some funny things coming out the top. What we've got to do now is the front and the back, we've got to actually put those up through the same hole. Not easy. Here he comes. He doesn't have to do anything special, these 2 front and back, they just got to go underneath and up through the hole. There it is. And there we go. These 2 big ones, you can actually, it's more or less like a core now, and you can actually direct where the knot's going to go, like so. Yeah. Right, here comes the fun part, just smartening it up and trying to get all the slack out of the knot up through those 4. We can try pulling a little bit on each one. But you really want to know where these anchors are down here. I can see that they're actually going up to here. So if I get hold of one of those, give it a good old tug. Its partner, and we can take out that double loop of slack, like so. And we've got to start on this knot. Got to try and keep it neat. That's rubbish otherwise. Keep all the cords going beside each other. Now I know that 2 of these are going to bring that one, maybe that one, no, that one. Starting to look a bit more like a head. Getting there. Getting there. So what I'm going to do now is just tighten up that stop knot as best as I can get it. Now, can you see its chest sticking out proud? On the last one, I actually took some cord and, excuse me, filled in the gap. I'm not sure if that's going to be needed on this one. Let me finish the head first and I'll come back to you. Well, there's the head tightened up. Now obviously he's got to have a nose and a mouth. I've tied these up out the way because what we now got to do is off the front of the face do another crown knot with two pieces of cord, so that's basically 4 pieces, 2 pieces doubled, and we're just going to do 1 or 2 crown knots, yeah, and then we're going to turn it into a wall knot, and I'll show you how to do that so that it gives it a sort of a bit of what's it. I'm not taking these off yet because I tend to try and fiddle them around and back down through some of them to make the ears, and also to come out through an eyebrow that I try to make and make a white eye, yeah. But I'll cut 2 more pieces of cord and I'll show you where I'm going to stick them on here, yeah. Come back to you. Welcome back. This is what we're trying to achieve. Can you see he's got a snout now? Now I'm going to take this to bits again in a minute and show you how I've done it, but we've done 1 crown knot just in there, 2 bits of, I've started off with 2 bits of 20-inch cord, probably don't need that much, but just found a place, found it through the face of the stitches on the face, did 1 crown knot and 1 wall knot. So I'll show you how we did that. Well, there you go. We had cut 2 20-inch pieces of cord, thread 1 through the top of the face and 1 down lower, yeah. Going to do 1 crown knot. If I can get my hands to work, 1 crown knot. No, it's not working for me. It's because I've used the cord already once. Let's think about this. We'll come round over 1, over 2, over 3, and then 3 goes through the loop. We'll go through the loop, and we'll tighten down on that one. That first knot needs to be really tight. So we got our square knot like so. I'm going to go now to do a wall knot. It's just a crown knot plus. So we go over 1, over 2, over 3, and complete that crown knot. Yeah, but we pull it in loose, so we've got that effect. Now, 4 cords coming down this way, we want to have them coming up out of the face. So this one goes underneath this one and comes up through the center. Yeah. This one comes underneath the next one, up through there like that, through the center. The one we've just gone under now goes to the last one, well, more or less the last one, goes underneath it, underneath this loop here, up through the center. And then the last one, you think, well, where's that going to go? Here's the last one. Well, that's the first one that we put under, so it's got to go under that first one and up through the center. Give them a little bit of a tug, and then we're going to pull 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring it in nicely like that, pulling these out at the same time. Then we're going to pull 1 again, 2, 3, 4, and hopefully you can see that we've now got a face. Yeah. All I'm going to do now is making sure that I've got it nice and tight as I want it. No loops around the walnut. Just going to snip them off. A little bit proud. Got one there a little bit higher than the rest, so we'll have a go at cutting him off. And there we go. Looking good. Now, what's the next step? We've got to obviously use a couple of these for ears. Make sure I'm on line still, like so. Yeah, but I don't want to just have it coming from the top of the head. So what I'll probably do, which I will do, is put a fid on that one, bring it down through and under those two just on the side, and work the fid down through. We hope. I've got a feeling that I've caught a cord. There we go. Down through like that. Bring that into the knot, and then we want to determine what size ear we want, and then we can take it back up into the knot again, but from behind. Then we can play around with that so that we have our ears. Now on the other one, once I've got the ear shape, I just put a tad of super glue underneath there to keep the shape. Yeah, and then we're almost but finished. So I'll do this ear, I'll go round to the other side and do another ear coming down like so, and then back up through, and then we'll chop all these off and singe them. No, we won't, because we forgot to do the eye. Once we've actually got the ears in, I'll do the other ear because I want to show you how I did the eyes. So we did have, right, take the fid off the other one. Yeah, I need to do the ears before we can do the eyes because the chords are similar. So we're going to come down through these two, with this one. Just work it underneath those two, like so. Making sure we don't take any of the others with us. Pull it down into the knot so you can't see a loop. That'll be fine. And then we'll take it back up towards the back of the head and into the center of the knot again. There we go. And that will be our other ear, like so. Yeah, hopefully you can see that. And it's going to be our second ear, like that. We'll take the fit off. Now, the eyebrows are going to be these two at the top there. So we can actually relax them slightly, bring them up, and that one. And what we can do with two of these, they're all set up for the fid still. Hopefully I've got a long one. Yeah, I think so. No, not quite. But what we're going to do is bring it down through the eyebrow, like so. Put on one of those close to the eye. I think I've got it. Bring it through like so. That bulges the eye up a bit more. We'll do the same on the other side. Yeah, I think we can use that one, but we'll come down through that eyelash or eyebrow, if I can get to it. Yeah, there we go. Put that one onto there. Yep, we've got him as well. And we'll bring that down out of the eye, like so. So we've got two long strands coming out of the eyes. Whilst we got them just like that, making sure that we haven't got too much bulge on top, we'll cut them off. A little bit proud, and a little bit proud again. Keeping everything else out of the way, we can then heat it up so it looks a bit like an eye. Yeah. There we have him. That's going to be his ears, like so. I'll just titivate those and I'll come back to you. And there we have him. I think this one's turned out pretty good. I'm quite liking it compared with the other one. As I said, I've made the back legs slightly longer so we can actually make him a bit more menacing if we want to. All the cut-offs, I mean, if I make another one, I'm going to do lots more walnuts on them, so we lose the cut-offs here, they'll be underneath. We'll lose the cut-offs around here because it'll be at the back end. Won't be able to do much about the top here. That'd be the same, and the walnut will come out there. His eyes look good. You will notice, or maybe you didn't notice, but I did do an extra couple of loops, figure of 8, just above the square chest. It's rounded it off nicely now. Yeah. So thanks for watching this. I will be posting it on YouTube. I can't post it on Facebook at the moment because they keep banning me week on week for some reason I don't know. So that's why I've not been posting all that much these days. But yeah, have a go at making one. Cheers from Cool Art.